The currency war is expanding, and you can see this with China and Argentina currently signing an agreement together to bypass the US dollar. This is just one of many countries coming together, shaking hands to agree upon the avoidance of the US dollar at all costs. As I've said before in the past, this doesn't happen overnight. These are small agreements that take place and then they continue on with them. So let's go into the first article here. Argentina to get $1 billion in currency swap with China before the end of 2014. So I will reiterate that, of course, this is a small number compared to the global economy. However, it is the first of many of these agreements that they'll sign. I've predicted this before. You've seen it happen over and over again where they sign new agreements following up, and this will continue on assuredly. Let's go into the next one where we have Russia and Iran put oil for goods deals in motion. This is, if I get further into it, it says where details of a groundbreaking oil for goods swap between the two heavily sanctioned countries were revealed. So they're pushed up against a corner, and all that's doing, as I've said many times before, all that's doing is pushing them closer together. It pushes Russia and China together, Russia and Iran. The whole BRIC nations are basically deciding that they want to do business with each other versus having to do business with the US all the time. And let's take a look at the highlighted portion. On August 5th, Russia and Iran signed a memorandum of understanding on oil for goods exchanges under which Russia could take the Iranian oil exports in return for providing goods and services and equipment to Iran. This really marks something that we've seen historically going back, where you have a barter trade. And why shouldn't they do exchanges like this if they can? Why pay the exchange rate when you simply don't have to? Why transfer your money into another currency when that is simply not necessary? And that's what they're thinking right now. They're going ahead with that at the moment, and this is going to continue to expand. Right away, I'm going to have to get into the next article. Russia seeks safe haven in gold away from the dollar and the euro. They're pushed up against the corner, and what they're doing right now is choosing to purchase gold. They've actually been purchasing less U.S. treasuries, and they've been purchasing gold instead. The central banks around the world are doing this, as I wrote about in my book, where I said among this right here, I'll just say it right away, China is out to have more gold than America, and Russia is aspiring to do the same. I specifically said that. So right here at the top, I said central banks in various countries have started to increase their positions in gold by purchasing bullion in large quantities. Even the developing nations are purchasing billions of dollars worth of gold. And then I say how they're diversifying out of the US dollar slowly but surely. Let's go on. We have Ecuador's digital currency explained. And they're saying that, look, 40% of Ecuadorians don't even have a bank account. And then they basically make the case for this as the escape of the US dollar, because they use the US dollar in Ecuador right now. Many countries have a dual currency. Many countries, they really don't trust their own currencies. They use the US dollar as that. But that seems to be being displaced at the moment. And of course, this may not be a viable option for many. However, it does make you think really about it. Incomes, I wanted to get into this one here. Fed, under Obama, only the richest 10% saw incomes rise. The middle class is disappearing, and that's how America will die. When the American middle class dies, the whole country will die. And here, under Obama, the last few years, only the richest 10% saw that increase. So, if we go on quickly, IMF warns of the market fallout from a Scottish split. And Scotland isn't the only one that may split. There are many states in the US talking about seceding, and there are other regions around the world that have all talked about moving away from the dictatorial power that they feel, and this will undoubtedly happen if it is allowed to, of course. And this will ultimately bring more destruction to the world because it's so flimsy, it's so fragile right now. At least in a shorter term period, you're going to have a lot of volatility. In that volatility, people will seek safe havens, and that's up for you to decide what that is. Mark Faber once again telling us, McDonald's tells us why the market will collapse. And he's saying essentially that, this is McDonald's is basically an indicator of the well-being of the economy. They're doing bad right now. They're missing the estimates. Their sales are poor, and here they are really being an indicator. And to some degree, I do agree with this, of course, because they're one of those companies that ultimately people will buy up, people will go to, and that is not the case right now. At least we'll see where that heads in the future. My point here for this video is that the U.S. economy is dying slowly. Here is just more evidence, and the ultimate threat to the US dollar is simply countries purchasing less and less of the US government debt. That will be the slow and utter decay of the US dollar. If you enjoyed this information, if you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up, and that signals to me that you did enjoy that as well as the others on YouTube. And of course, don't forget to become an insider. It's where I give out all my best intel for free. It's at themoneygps.com. You scroll down to the bottom and fill in your email address, and you get occasional emails